late checkout, and breakfast every day in your room.
Okay. Ooh.
That's if you don't have
There's Drew.
like everything like all inclusive.
Yeah.
So I start filling out the paperwork. Nick comes around the corner. He goes, buddy. I'm like, what? He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, buying a timeshare. What do you mean? He's like, oh no.
Oh, he got
no. He's like, come on. So I'm making progress with mine. All of a sudden he goes in and he sits down. He starts doing it. So she's like, oh, like, okay. She's like, comes back. She's like, oh, okay, good. Good news. You're approved. Blah, blah, blah. She's like, all you have to do is sign. I'm like, all right, well, I want to wait and see what he does. Because I didn't want to get it if he didn't, because, like, yeah, I could go on vacation like myself, but, like, we had a good time. Like, it was a blast. So, like, what's better than, like, okay, hey, you know what? I'm going on vacation with my boy. We got 2 villas.
You sharing it to the page or no?
Yep, I will take care of it.
So I can do it. I'm right on it.
So he does it. He gets approved. We're walking out now. 2 members of the Marriott Vacation Club. Unreal.
And you get like discounts everywhere else.
Yeah.
So is this? It's every year, right? You get like 2 weeks a year,
All
right?
So here it is. So here it is.
Doesn't matter
Points.
the week.
So I've got 1,500 points. They gave me an extra 3,000.
What's that equivalent to?
It's equivalent to
$2.5 a point. So it's like
Yeah.
whatever that is, 4,000 ish
yeah.
a year.
But they also gave us 3,000 bonus points off the rip. So I technically my first year I had 4,500 points.
And that's for life. So you pay it off in 10 years, and then you're in.
What is this, like a monthly thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pay per month?
you finance, so it's a bulk price. So it's like $17,000 at closing. You're gonna finance. I think it broke down to like 2 something a month or whatever, and like payments. After 10 years, you're done.
The only thing you pay is your maintenance. And
You just pay your maintenance.
Okay.
So which is like $1,000 for the year ish. So after that, you're getting $4,000 worth of points every year for the rest of your life, and paying the maintenance.
That's it.
So after 10 years,
I'm sure it's going to go up at some point. We'll probably get up.
And
time 10 years, probably at 15.
Right, and you can get out if you need to.
The other factor of it is, you get access to, like, they call them getaways. So you can pay cash for any Marriott resort, but you book on like off weeks, or you buy from timeshare holders who are selling, and you avoid third party fees. So, we're like gold members for life. So the villa we stayed at would be basically, it was like $300 or $400 for the week if you were to book as a member.
Yeah.
Which normally it would
is nothing.
Yeah, normally it'd be like $1,000, $2,000 a week.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So yeah, it's pretty
Let's see how it
sweet.
plays out.
That's sick. Well, good for you guys. Look at you.
Totally did not mean to do that.
Making adult decisions
But it
and
happened.
extending vacations
Hey, you know
giving in to the man.
It was also nice that I had snowstorms that made me money while I was out there. So I was actively making money
Yeah.
while not being here.
Perfect.
Couldn't get better.
Nice.
And on that note, we're going to take a break.
Hit the break.
After the break, we're going to
You
pull
got
Drew
Drew
in.
Drew on the line there?
We do. If you're listening at home or in your car, we do have the feed up. It is on the page. Click the link. Big shout out to James for getting it going for us. We'll be back. 508-222-1320.
Mr. Red, White, and Blue.
Welcome back, MVP Sports Talk Radio, live in Attleboro. Nick, Ryan, Tim, and now Drew on the phone.
Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening, good evening.
Andrew Almeida, how are you, sir?
I'm doing quite well, Ryan Dollinger. Good to talk to you, and Nicholas Lavoie.
Fancy meeting y'all here.
Hey, welcome back.
Wow.
He's still salty.
Damn.
Who?
Wow.
Drew didn't even acknowledge
All right.
Tim's existence.
Well, all right, then. You know what?
Damn.
I didn't catch that.
I didn't even know Tim was in studio tonight. Tim, how are you, good sir?
Is that okay? That's better. That's better.
Okay, all right, there we go. All right.
I-
A little more enthusiasm.
I think the problem is that you're not in the MVP
Yes,
chat
that's
right
probably
now.
that is probably the problem.
I didn't see a response from you, so I didn't know you were in studio, brother.
I guess you
That's
can add
my
me
bad.
back to the
That's my
chat.
Yeah, we should do that.
I'm
We
gonna-
should. Yeah.
We'll do that from afar, but yeah, we'll be good. So yeah, man, what's the good news?
You're
Good
So-
news is I don't know.
So we missed last week because,
The good news is, Drew, I'm going to be indulging my fat self into a nice, delicious meatball sub because
Yeah.
the fantastic pipe dream of a story that I had that was a great fantasy of mine has, in fact, come true.
The
to
meatball
full-
subs might
to
be better
win.
than the win.
Let me
Okay,
tell you,
that.
when it comes to fruition, it's always a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Oh, let me tell you, every single bite of that meatball sub is going to taste like just beautifulness.
It's probably going to feel like a championship.
Oh, probably. I might cry. I might pick it up, right? Might pick
I
it
love
up
it, man.
like it's a little baby, right? Pick it up and just
Just don't eat it in studio like we got in trouble for.
no.
Yeah, no
I'm gonna
problem.
eat
Year
this at
ago.
home because I'm planning to do it shirtless and get a little messy with it. I might even just live feed
Oh,
it.
I love it, dude. I love it. That's
Might
awesome,
just
man.
live feed
So
it.
You have to live feed it.
Rub it on my
hey,
chest a
we're-
little.
We're opening up, man. We're rocking and rolling here. It's it's the beginning of the show. I haven't been around for the top of the show in a while.
Welcome.
So what's on the agenda tonight, gents?
Well, we just discussed the timeshare and
Yep.
your trip
Yeah.
to down to Orlando and Tampa. Discussing that, and so we missed last week. Obviously, these guys extended their vacation, so no show last week, and
Can't complain about that.
can't complain about that. So we got some catching up to do, boys.
We do.
Yeah, so
So-
we got Super Bowl recap. I guess free agency still going on. We can talk a little hockey. We can let y'all talk some basketball since we have all three of you here. Generally,
Here we go. I can't. If we're gonna talk basketball, I can't wait.
Baseball-
and baseball too.
baseball, not much happening.
Oh
You think there's much
no!
happening?
I'm about to
No, it's-
sound off on these sucky ass Red Sox.
I like what they're doing.
I'm gonna
you say
sound.
the A
I
word?
think so.
What's happening with the baseball? A lot
go
of stuff is going on.
Pine Bloom is.
I like what they're
God.
doing. To be honest with you, I like what they're doing.
We're not going to be good for 3 years.
That's fine. Okay, we can talk about it when we get.
We'll
to
talk about it.
it. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so-
we got to start with the Super Bowl.
Nick, give me. Okay,
I know we're a week late.
right off the rip. What's your reaction? Go. Like quick
Perfection.
hits. Quick hits. Go.
Perfection.
Without diving too deep
All
into
right, so
it.
yeah, perfection. They executed perfectly. They did I'm not, I don't want to toot my own horn. They did a lot defensively that I said they needed to do. They played Mahomes perfectly,
With you.
exactly how they need to play him. Very similar to how New England plays against Lamar or Belichick plays against any mobile quarterback, but they played well, in short. And then we'll dive more in as we go, but we'll get everyone's quick take.
Got right into it. Go, Tim.
Number 8's coming.
Number 8's on.
I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, that's it, huh?
Yep.
Number 8's coming.
No, I mean I'll dive into it just a little bit, not too deep, like you said.
yeah.
I told
Yeah.
you, when they came out, the dime package wasn't going to help. Sure as what, it didn't. Run game came out. They controlled the clock. They took away the big playmakers, and Mahomes just was running for his life the whole night, and it was beautiful. And I loved every single minute of it. And what's even better was his crybaby girlfriend, his crybaby mother, and his crybaby brother.
Yep. Agreed.
That is the
love it.
best
Love it.
piece.
Agreed.
That was the cherry on top.
All right. Well, we I think my biggest takeaway came down to this game came down to one thing, and it's the big boys.
Oh yeah.
It came down to the big boys.
Oh, yeah.
You saw how deficient that Chiefs offensive line was with no left tackle, no starting left tackle in Eric Fisher, no starting right tackle. They moved both their guards to tackles, and they play with backup guards. And they got absolute that front line of the Bucks absolutely had a field day.
Yep.
And they were having fun. They were bouncing around. I'll tell you what, there's a 22-year-old man named Devin White who's the best linebacker in the league right now. That man is on another planet.
Couldn't say it better myself.
He is incredible. That Tampa just executed in every aspect of the game. And Brady just what he was able to accomplish, and agree. I don't think he should have been the MVP.
No,
I understand why you give him the MVP, and I get that.
So
I think Gronk could have been. I think Shaq Barrett. I think Shaq Barrett.
Drew was on
who
the
had
point with that.
He had 7 or 8 hurries, had 2 sacks, right?
Yeah.
So I think the only stipulation
Devin White could have been
not to draw.
Devin White had
not
12
to draw it
tackles.
out, but the only stipulation why you give it to Brady is when you come out and say he's a coach and he's calling the plays, and if he's running the offense,
Gronk could have been MVP.
Got to give it to him, but
Real quick.
I think Drew was on the money with Barrett. He had a great game, and that was my pick to be it. After watching the game, I thought it would be more Pierre-Paul. I picked Pierre-Paul. 2 weeks prior, I think, when we did the picks. But Barrett had a great game.
But and like one small takeaway, I gained a good bit of respect for Mahomes in this game. I did. He didn't quit. He really didn't quit.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that.
I think he did everything in his power.
He ran over 500
to
yards.
survive.
Yeah.
And literally just stay there and give his team the best shot.
He ran 495
He made some
yards.
we've seen Mahomes. We've all seen Mahomes play, and we've all seen what he can do. He went above and beyond what I've ever seen him do in this game in terms of creating time and space and just doing that throw that he made, like literally horizontally to the ground, which should have been a touchdown. And dude, like some of these throws that he was making, like this game should have been closer.
Yep.
His Tyreek Hill dropped a touchdown right through. Ball went right to his helmet. Kelsey dropped one. That's another thing. I am never going to put Travis Kelsey on a pedestal ever again.
What was that?
He was.
Hold on. No, wait. Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait.
Hey, I know
who is the best tight end.
So I said
in the
Kelsey.
league right now?
I knew Kelsey was going to get his numbers. 10 catches, like 110
Which
yards,
we
right?
both agreed on.
Which I knew was going to happen.
Yep.
But he was Charmin ultra soft in this game. Jesus Christ, his body language, just going through the motions. That I am
But
never.
it's because you put a physical defender on.
I'm never gonna put.
Routes. He was like not running.
I'm never gonna put him on that pedestal ever again. I'm not. I admit my wrongdoing and my take that during the preview show, but good God, he was Charmin ultra soft in that game. Good God.
And I told you Gronk was going to I don't know how I knew, but I knew he was going to show up, and he saved me for this
absolutely
game.
2 tutties, baby. 2 tutties.
Yeah, we got to get Drew's
Yeah,
take.
we got to get Drew's take.
Drew, what's your quick thoughts on the game? Boom.
I mean, look, after the demolition that was Tampa beating up on my boys in Green Bay, I was full steam ahead on the Brady bandwagon. And, he definitely did not let me down with the play in the Super Bowl. I think you guys mentioned it. I was on the money with the Shaq Barrett call. The guy just showed up and made big plays after big plays. Obviously, Tommy Boy, accounted for some big plays. You talked about Gronk. I love seeing Gronk get in there and making that difference, just like back in the day here in New England. It was nice seeing Antonio Brown catch a touchdown and get himself a championship with Tommy Boy. It just felt like everything that they had to do to win, they did. They had to play good ball. They had to play mistake-free ball. They had to keep the pressure on Mahomes. They did all the things that we talked about for them to be successful, and they had a great game plan on Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes, what was the stat? Like over 450 scramble yards?
Yeah, it was 495, I think.
I mean, almost 500 yards just scrambling. I mean, that's crazy. So they had an amazing game plan, and I love that Ryan's giving him credit because, look, I mean, the guy definitely played the full 60 minutes. He every minute he was on the field, he was giving it his best.
I mean, arguably you could say he was the only player on that team that really exerted full effort the entire 60 minutes.
I thought it was interesting. There were a couple of opportunities early in the game where he missed some guys. Like there was an early series where he missed Mecole Hardman running down pretty much wide open in between the cornerback and the safety, and he just totally overthrew him. I don't remember if he was getting pressured on that play. I just remember the ball went about 5 yards ahead of Hardman, and as fast as Hardman is, that he just couldn't catch up to the ball.
Yeah, he started rough. He started it was like 2-11, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just felt like he wasn't firing on all cylinders, and maybe it was just because of that pressure that they were putting on him immediately. Because I thought, like, if you look downfield and you weren't like just paying attention to Mahomes in the backfield, like if you look downfield, I thought there was some opportunities there. But look, I mean, I wasn't standing in the backfield with JPP and Shaq Barrett coming at me either. You know what I mean? So obviously they did a great job of containing the receivers long enough, and the pressure did a great job of making him feel uncomfortable back there to the point where he was literally throwing the ball horizontally at some point. So overall, I mean, hats off to Tommy. What an amazing accomplishment. 7 Super Bowls now, out of 10 appearances. I mean, probably never going to see that again in our lifetime. It's just ridiculous. And, I think we can put to bed the Brady versus Belichick conversation at this point. I know it's only one season, and I know, that obviously we have to be a little bit biased because Brady won the Super Bowl, but I mean, Belichick didn't even make the playoffs this year, guys. I mean, I know there wasn't a lot of players around them, but whose fault is that? He buys the groceries. He's got to cook the meals with the groceries he buys. Let's just put to bed the argument of whose reason, what the reason was that they were successful when Brady was in New England. It was Brady, guys. It was Tom Brady. We heard a lot of expats players over the last couple of weeks talking about the Patriots way really being the Brady way. And I think he brought that down to Tampa with him, and you saw it in a team that was a playoff contender team last year with a guy like Winston who was turning the ball over almost 40 times. Tom Brady went down there and took that same nucleus of players and instilled the Brady way and turned them into a championship team. And, obviously it took them 16 games for them to get to that point. But once they started clicking in those last 5 or 6 games, they were like an unstoppable freight train at that point. And it was really, really difficult to get them off those tracks. And good for him. I mean, he really, really put a final seal of approval on the let's just say you put to bed the debate between Belichick and Brady. I love it.
I kind of disagree. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's 50-50. You have Matt Light come out and kind of negate Amendola, and I don't know. It's different, and does Brady have the knowledge he has if he doesn't play under Belichick, and then he doesn't play under McDaniels? I don't know. I mean, I'm not denying him. I think it's for his legacy to separate himself that win's needed. To say that it's not, all about New England and it wasn't always Belichick and it's not a system thing, it's needed. And he comes out and he wins. And he does it on ways that he doesn't do in New England. You didn't see a lot of the same plays that they ran here in that Super Bowl. You saw a lot of similar play style in the playoffs. But I think the Super Bowl was kind of more of their own breed and their own design. It was good to see, obviously, Gronk get implemented. But, I think it was just needed for him to kind of separate himself. But I still always call it 50-50. I think Brady contributed a lot. Obviously, there was years where, when Brady was out, you still are a playoff contender and you still have a formidable year. A lot of moves and a lot of guys that, Belichick finds, Butler and just all these guys that are really nobodies, and he makes something out of them. That's something that, you give him credit for. And, I always take it as 50-50. And I don't think there ever really needs to be the debate about, one versus the other. In my mind, I think, coach and quarterback should always mend well. That's kind of at every level. It's got to be that way. Your quarterback's your right-hand man. Yeah,
in terms of, debate goes between, Brady versus Belichick, you don't have those debates with, the greats before them, right? You don't have the debates with Walsh and Montana. You don't have the debates with Shula and Marino, right? Mm-hmm. You put them in the same category together because they contributed, it's a team. It's a team effort.
Without the other, I don't think any of them were they are.
With that being said, though, Brady winning certainly affects Belichick's legacy right now, especially if Belichick doesn't accomplish anything and doesn't turn it around.
It affects him.
I think that especially in this game, we said it in the openings in our opening takes. Who scored touchdowns? 2 for Gronk, right? 1 for Antonio Brown, 1 for Fournette.
Yeah. You think those people that he brought in?
You think those 3 players are there if Brady's not there?
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
The Brady effect is real, and the Brady effect lures players in, right? You don't have that anymore in New England.
Yeah, and you have it right now. You got Evans trying to take. Evans going to take a hometown discount. Gronk's going to take a hometown discount.
They want to keep this core together.
Yep, they're going to keep it. They're going to keep it cheap,
and they're going to take pay cuts because they'll be able to pay Shaq Barrett now.
That's it.
Because Shaq Barrett's a free agent.
Winning
but you know
fun.
what? You're not going to get all those
winning
guys
is
back, though.
Yeah, you won't get them back. You're going to lose. You're going to lose Godwin. You're going to lose a few other guys, but you'll still be competitive.
That's going to be a pretty formidable team next year if they get that nucleus back.
So here's what I think.
The key thing is defense.
And you can tell me if I'm wrong. So we can go into a quick little overview of the Bucs. Chris Godwin's probably gone.
Right.
I don't think he has the best hands anyway, so I don't think that he's going to be worth what he's going to want to be asking.
Well, he was playing with a broken. He's been playing with a broken
but
hand
even
and fingers all year.
Well, listen, even like watching last year, like he's not like a sure catch guy. You know what I mean? Like he's an average, like, you know, he's in that next tier of receivers, but he's at the bottom of that tier. You know what I mean? Like he's not like, you know, this isn't a D-Hop. You know, this isn't someone who's going to get what he's trying to get, right? So he won't get that in Tampa. What I seriously can see happening, and maybe it's a little bit of a pipe dream for me, but I can see Edelman replacing Godwin in Tampa, and either the Patriots bringing in Godwin or bringing in someone else to replace Edelman. Because look, Edelman, the experience with Edelman here is done, right? So where else is Edelman going to go? It's the Brady effect, just like Drew called it. I can see Edelman going into that spot and filling that role.
I can see it.
Then you bring back Antonio Brown on cheap money, right? Wants to earn it. We can't forget, he's still got legal cases he's going through. So he's going to want to play. He's gonna, you know what I mean? It seems to work there. So you'll have Brown back. You'll have Evans back. You'll probably have Edelman. You'll still have Gronk because Gronk's going to want to still play. He's already said that.
Edelman's still under contract.
Yeah, but they'll swap him.
You got to work something.
I'm sure they'll swap a pick because, listen, the Patriots, they're going to reload that offense. Because whatever they had didn't work.
They have
and
to.
we can get into that later because I do want to touch on that because, you know, I've been looking at a lot of things and I've been like, you know, just a lot of things would make sense to what I've said previously on the show. But as far as the Bucs go, I think you have to bring back Shaq Barrett. They have to pay Levante David. We can't forget about that because his contract's up. I'm paying David before I'm paying Shaq Barrett.
Ooh.
That's just who I am. I mean, like, listen, you have enough between
JPP.
JPP.
That's a bold take.
Yeah, but you have enough guys on that defensive line. Like, Levante David's a big part of that team, and he's been a big part of that team. And there's not, like, you know, who else do you look right now and go, yeah, you know what, he can come in and replace him? Nobody. There's always going to be pass rushers, man. I mean, there's not going to be elite pass rushers. But, I mean, as you saw it, like, that defensive front is pretty, like, solid, right? You take away Levante David out of the backers, you might have an issue. But, I mean, you know, don't forget, too, like, you know, they have 3 now solid tight ends. I could see them moving one of those to create some cap room. I could see them moving one of those to get a pass rusher. You know what I mean? Like, there's pieces that they can move here. And, of course, you have Brady.
The book is entirely open for what Tampa could do.
And you have 2 solid running backs. You know what I mean? Potentially could be 3. Like, we don't know what's going to happen with James White. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many people that could leave New England or local areas and go and take discounts to play with Brady. I don't think the Bucs are in any chance of being in trouble.
No,
like they're going to have a solid team regardless.
Yeah, and a lot of their defense is drafted. A lot of them are they're going to ride out their Brady contract essentially. I mean, you figure if Brady gets another 2 years on top, most of those guys are there for 2 years. You don't have to pay out big really anywhere. You're going to keep a bunch of guys that are going to get hometown money. Evans will probably sign a 2-year cheap deal. Brown will get a year deal, and then he'll get another.
I'll tell you what's going to happen with Evans. Evans is going to sign a contract extension. It's going to be backloaded. That's what's going to happen.
Incentives.
It's going to be incentives driven with backloaded money, and he'll probably have a no trade clause, so that way it's confirmed that he'll get that money. Like he's not dumb. You know what I mean? Like Evans wants to win. That's one of the things I've always respected about Mike Evans. Like he's a team player. It's not just about him. So they'll create cap room there. I could see Fournette coming back on cheap money. Even if not, they still have Rojo.
Because Evans used to get a really bad mantra before Brady came in. I think Brady coming in kind of like you could see the maturity of Mike Evans.
I mean, you also
throughout
look
the season.
Too, like,
you could see that.
Like Mike Evans has been a baller since he came in the league. He's a 1,000-yard catcher. You know what I mean? Like he wants to win. That's his thing, and I think that's why he's like, yeah, I'll take less money because I want to win.
Yeah, now he's.
You know what I mean? Like,
now he's all about it.
This dude's made his money.
It's the Brady effect, man. Yeah. It's the Brady effect, dude.
And it's hard not to buy in. I mean,
that's simple.
You see it, right? They have some hiccups in the beginning, and people doubt it around the league, and then they get it together, and you steamroll.
I can even see Brady restructuring his contract.
Oh,
hey,
easily.
give me another year, take $10 million.
Yeah,
You know
Well,
what
he
I mean?
signed a 2-year, right?
Year 40.
But, so I'm
but
saying
I
make
could
it
see
now
him
if you
doing
extend it.
2 more
Make it
for
2
30
years,
total.
take 10 million.
Yep.
I could see him doing 30.
I mean,
take
take
5
that
off
10
the
million and
first,
split
put
it
it
out.
on the second.
Yep.
But I definitely,
He's just having fun at this point, man.
yeah, exactly.
Like-
I mean, but I don't see Godwin coming back. I really see Edelman going there. I really see it happening.
I'm with you.
I really see it happening.
I
Don't
could see
forget,
it happening.
we could see a Julian Edelman with a third round, second round pick for OJ Howard. I think the second round pick's a little too high, but
But if Brady wants it, they're going to give it.
Yep.
That's a fact. If Brady wants it, they're going to give it.
There's your solution at tight end,
Yeah, exactly.
right there with
Exactly.
OJ.
I mean, I don't see him
And with
staying
OJ
there.
Howard's
There's no way
injury
he
history,
watches-
you might
Yeah.
be able to do it straight up.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know if you do Edelman. I don't know if they would.
Okay, Edelman in a late round, like a
Yeah, I can
sixth,
see maybe a fifth.
5, 6, 7, one of those.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Which,
Yep.
like I said, if Brady wants it, they're going to get it done for whatever the cost. They've already proven that. And I just don't see Edelman sitting on the sideline watching all the fun. Obviously, Gronk and Brady's the big duo.
Listen, Edelman's done in New England. I'll be so surprised if he ever plays another down for them. Ever.
Yeah.
I really see that he's done.
But on that note, we got to take this quick break. We rolled it, so we're going to get this break out of the way. We'll be back. We got another phone line open, 508-222-1320. Don't go anywhere. We're back. Got about 15 minutes here before the break.
Yerp.
We got Drew on the phone. We got Tim and Ryan in studio with myself, Nick. WARA Studios, this is MVP Sports Talk Radio.
Yeah,
diving back in, I think we're sticking with Super Bowl talk here. And, I just want to echo one thing, too. We talk about the offensive line struggles of the Chiefs, and all that tells me is that's what happens when you can't balance a checkbook. Okay? The average, think about New England's depth. All right? I mean, guys like Cannon don't play this year, and I don't know, just so many players on the line that we don't even have to worry about. And, we can afford to not pay guys like Joe Tooney, and we still have a great offensive line sitting there. So it's just things like that, man. We don't balance the checkbook, especially with an offensive line. It's every year after year, offensive linemen get more and more money. And if you're not keeping up, you're not going to be in it. So
there you go.
they're going to be it'll be interesting to see how they go going forward. But, I mean, you got a lot of rookies who didn't look great. So, I mean, if anything, that tells you that you need to replace 2 or 3 of your offensive linemen with no money to do it, and it's only getting worse and worse.
You're missing your all-pro left tackle Eric Fisher.
No. I understand.
No right tackle. I mean,
I understand the injuries, but what I'm telling you is that the rookies who stepped up to the plate didn't do a good job.
Right. Yep.
That's the issue. So what I'm telling you is now you have to replace 2 of those guys minimum.
There was a stat. The guy that played right guard, I don't know his name. Guy that played right guard for the Chiefs, they moved him to right tackle. Yep. He was the right guard in the 2015 Super Bowl with the Panthers when they played the Broncos.
Well, that explains it.
And he gave up a record 12 hurries in 2015 and 3 sacks in that game.
And that's something.
And in this game, he gave up another 9 hurries in this game. So, it started up front. And right from the rip, right off the rip in this Super Bowl, the Chiefs had no chance.
Yeah.
They had absolutely no chance solely because of that line.
Yep.
And it was
terrible. They knew it going in.
It was bad. It was really, really bad. And I tell you what, and Tampa made them pay. Mm-hmm. Tampa did not take it lightly. They knew exactly what they had to do and what they were going to do, and they did it.
The Chiefs need to unload a high-value guy.
I heard a lot, especially during I know you guys were in Tampa during the game, but during the game when I checked social media and stuff, a lot of people complaining about the refs early in the game. I was surprised. I'm like, oh, you're finding excuses now. Okay.
There was questionable calls.
I'm going to cut you guys both off for a minute.
Yeah.
Drew, you good?
Hey, I just wanted to ask, speaking of rookies...
You press some buttons there, buddy?
You forget about the little guy.
Yeah.
Just curious. Just let you know I had something to say.
Oh, okay.
Just curious. Do you think that the Bucs will maybe sacrifice the Fournettes or the Ronald Jones of the world, maybe let go a guy like Godwin, and give more prominent roles to their rookies, Tyler Johnson and Keyshawn Vaughn at running back?
Yes.
So who would you see
go? I think that clears out some space, on the cap to bring guys like Shaq Barrett back. Maybe bring in a guy like an Edelman and be able to pay him a contract.
Rojo would stay. Fournette would go.
Yeah. I think Fournette's the guy that you probably see go there. You let Keyshawn Vaughn step up. I mean, he performed pretty well this year when they gave him an opportunity, and with another year under his belt, honing his skills on pass protection and getting that play action with Brady down. I think he'd be a nice asset at running back. And then, Tyler Johnson, I thought, made some great plays this year. We know how Tom feels about throwing the ball to rookie receivers or young receivers. So now that he's got a year under his belt, did some learning under the tutelage of Tom Brady, I could see him having a pretty big role next year, too, maybe stepping up into that number 3 spot on the depth chart. What do you guys think?
I mean, he looked good, and I think, I think it's easier for Tom to trust a rookie, or, now you talk about a 1-year guy, when you have guys like Evans coming back in. Now, obviously, with Godwin out now, it's going to be better for him to step up, more time for him to practice and work with Tom. I think the Evans-Brady matchup's kind of really concrete at this point, and they have a good connect. So, I think there's a lot of time for him to work with him. And, again, like I said, with Godwin coming out, even if they bring in Edelman, I mean, obviously, their matchup's unmatched, too. Mm-hmm. So, it definitely gives time to work with a kid like that. And
I wouldn't necessarily sleep on Fournette. I'm not so convinced they might let him go, especially after the playoff he had. He was.
Well,
he was,
I mean,
he came in of his own, especially in that
about
game.
cutting him week 14. I don't know.
He came on real strong in this playoffs.
Well, the problem is if they talk about cutting him week 14, yeah, he looks good in the playoffs. But when you got two solid rookies behind him, you already got a great running back. You got tons of wide receiver threats. Is he really the make or break in that game? I don't think so. Maybe a couple playoff runs where he kind of put out the numbers, but I don't see him outweighing getting
his contract up. Is Fournette?
Yeah, he had a 1-year
Is it
deal.
up? Okay.
I don't see his performance outweighing the capability of bringing back a guy like Barrett or David. If it comes down to it, they're going to cut a guy like him easily to keep that defense.
I agree with you, Nick.
I mean, that defense won the game. As much as I love Brady, I think easily 5 of the other top 20 quarterbacks in the league would have won that game. It was the defense just balled out. It was an easy comfortability zone to be in for any quarterback.
Yep.
And their offensive line performed well too.
Man, you could have put Cam Newton as a quarterback in that game.
All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Still would have won with the way that defense played.
Let's not get ahead of
No, that's true.
ourselves.
It's facts.
I mean,
though.
honestly,
it's facts.
Did they have a defensive touchdown? I can't remember now.
No.
No, but
No,
they put
they
him in
had
the red
2
zone.
picks.
Yeah.
They put him in the red
Yeah.
zone.
Yeah, they had 2 picks.
2 picks.
I mean,
So you think Evans is happy now that Tom Brady's his quarterback?
100%.
Yeah.
I feel like the guy, I think Tim mentioned it before. The guy's, he's been a pro, man. He's been an all-star, if you would. Over the years, putting up big 1,000-yard seasons. But I feel like he played very disgruntled most of those years because he never really had a quarterback that could lead him to the victories that he wanted to get. And I think the guy's a winner, and he wanted to win. And so when you had a guy like Winston there, and he's throwing the ball away 40 times a year, I could see him being frustrated with that.
Good old Lamus.
Yeah.
I would.
And then, now you got Brady there this year, and you felt like it was a complete 180, right, in his attitude. He wasn't catching as many passes, but it was okay because his team was winning. He was making big plays. So, like, at the beginning of the year, I think it was something ridiculous, like 6 touchdowns in the first 4 games. So I feel like Mike Evans, definitely has taken that chip off his shoulder now that he's gotten the victory, and he can just go out there and ball.
Yeah,
man, I'm gonna keep saying it. Brady effect, man. He changed that culture.
I
period.
think Brady is the Brady effect, and I think you give Brady the rehabilitation effect. He does stuff with guys that nobody else can do. No team can control Antonio Brown. What was that, Drew? Sorry.
I just said it's the Brady way.
Yep.
Bring it back to that conversation.
And I think Evans is only going to get better now.
Yeah.
He's going to have 10 times a better year next year. As hard as it is to believe, I just think.
Oh God! Now you give him a full mini camp, training camp.
Yep. And
dude.
And you saw hiccups here and there along the way where it was like people doubting him, like I said earlier. But it's like now right? You won a Super Bowl with him. You keep you keep probably 95% of the defense stays. Your offensive line staying put. You might lose a couple guys, but you're going to pick up a couple guys. So you're rolling in with about 95% of the same team. There's no reason you can't repeat. I mean, now it's full steam ahead.
Don't sleep on that offensive line either. That Tampa offensive line in that
Super Bowl
top
5 line
was.
Let me tell you something.
Absolutely flawless.
Big
in
number
that game.
78.
Absolutely flawless.
Played his you-know-what off all year.
Yep.
Those who don't know who I'm talking about, look up Christian Wirfs.
Wirfs is a
dude is an
animal
monster.
But we touched on that going into it. I mean, they're fourth ranked. New England's 5th ranked. Green Bay was 3rd ranked. I mean, even this playoffs, you had a ton of. And it shows the power of offensive line. Obviously, aside from New England, but 3 of the 5 top offensive lines were in the playoffs up until the ships.
Yep.
Like they were all playoff contending teams, and it came down to good defensive play, but a lot of that was on the front trenches.
Absolutely.
If you just don't have an offensive line, you can't compete these days. Defensive talent is just far superior than back in the old days. A lot more blitz packages, a lot better. Just end schemes, so much more talent and so much faster linebackers these days, and they're only getting faster.
Yep.
So I mean, you got to have a good offensive line, and I think that's going to be Casey's big problem.
Yep. Oh, speaking of which, so my sister's watching. So, my nephew called the Super Bowl with the Bucks and the Chiefs. Keep an eye if you don't mind looking at the memorabilia
you gotta send me
stuff.
the team. I'm going to ask you the teams.
He wants his favorite player is Jack Eichel. So I don't know what the pickings are for Jack Eichel on a signed hockey puck.
I'm pretty sure you can get everything.
Something like that, yeah.
Probably.
Jack Eichel, he said Ovechkin too. So, I mean.
Ovechkin would probably be easier to get, but
Yeah.
I'll take a look.
Yeah, do you really want to give him Ovechkin?
Yeah. I like Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Oh,
Never liked Ovechkin.
sorry.
Best goal scorer in the
we'll save it
hockey
for the
right
hockey hour. I mean, we can kind of wrap up football with the top of the hour.
You want to touch on the Patriots off-season plans real
all
quick,
right? We'll dive in the top of the hour. Patriots off-season. We'll roll into hockey. We'll touch on basketball because you got something there, and we'll end with a little baseball take because you got a hot take. I don't have anything for baseball. Really.
Ryan's itching to chew on the Celtics.
The Celtics and the Red Sox.
I want to chew on the Celtics a little bit too.
Be prepared.
Well, we got 3 minutes to burn.
Get ready for the suck. Because that's what's going to
Yeah,
happen.
I guess we can do this.
Get ready for the suck.
We can do this.
That's all I can say.
Maybe the Red Sox, not the Celtics.
So
I
we'll
mean,
definitely.
Celtics haven't changed in a decade, so.
I got a real hot take
Here's the thing I got.
that
about
will
the-
make your liver quiver.
Here's the only take I got about the Celtics.
That's all you got to say?
a big yawn.
It's everything is coming to fruition exactly how
I had a question for you
imagined
guys.
it.
Actually, Jason Tatum talking about how COVID's slowing him down. You think that's the case?
No.
It's called an
I don't think
excuse.
so. I think it's an excuse
He's
too.
Yeah.
coming up with a
I think it's
sorry
an
excuse.
He's missed before COVID. He's missed endless games too. It's in and out.
You ready for this?
Gets his money and is a bum.
Are you ready for this?
That's why I said.
Are you gonna hit me with a hot tech right
I
before
know.
the break?
I know. I don't know Jack diddly squat about basketball, but that was exactly why last year I said you need to get him on a 1-year deal to prove his point, or don't pay him any money at all. Because now you paid him, and he looks like
Who, Tatum?
Kyrie Irving.
No, I like the way you paid Tatum. You didn't max him. It wasn't a max. It was just an extension.
Dang close.
Which is fine.
Dang
Which
close
is fine.
to max. You're paying him big money to
You're paying him
blame
about
COVID.
32 a year, which is fine.
The guy's giving the same effort as I'd give out there, for Christ's sakes. He's acting like he's got my stamina. Jesus.
You ready for this one?
Go. I'm probably
Ooh,
gonna.
you're not gonna like this.
I'm not gonna like this.
Drew's not gonna like this.
Oh boy.
Trade Jason Tatum.
I'm waiting for Drew.
I was just gulping my water and I almost spit it out all over my dashboard.
Trade Jason Tatum.
Okay, so first of all, who do you
Reed Tatum.
okay? Because look, nobody's untradeable on that team right now. They don't have a LeBron James or an
No,
Anthony
but
Davis.
all right. So let me ask you a serious question.
They
Who
don't have a Jokic. Like, who do you trade him for?
So who gets you?
What do
Who
for?
gets you the biggest return?
Who
No,
gives you
I
the
agree.
biggest return?
No, but I'm asking who gets you the biggest return.
I'm not saying trade Tatum. I'm just saying who you trade
No,
him for.
but what I'm asking you right now is who gets you the biggest return.
Well, I don't think there's a debate there, Tim.
Okay, but that's why this is part of the reason why I'm saying to trade Jason Tatum.
All right, right into
Who do you-
basketball.
Right into basketball.
Who are you trading him for?
I mean, you'd have to look and make
Biggest
sure
re-
that
best
all
return?
right, so put it this way: there's
The-
nobody
the
right
thing that
now.
the
Hold
first
on.
thing that comes to my mind, Karl Anthony Towns.
No,
That's the first thing that comes to mind.
No,
Because you need a
Because-
big. You need a
you
dominant. big.
definitely need a big. But here's the thing: this is why I say trade Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are essentially the same player.
No.
Yes, they attack the rim and they can occasionally shoot the three ball. How are they different? The only thing that separates
No.
Tatum and
Tatum's
Brown.
a significantly better shooter.
No.
Yeah.
I think you're wrong. I think
Yeah.
you're completely wrong.
Tatum's a better shooter.
If you're going to ask me,
I think.
listen,
I think Brown's a better defender.
No, that's why I think that he's better than Tatum. When you ask me how many times have
I'd rather
seen,
trade Jaylen.
How many times have you seen Jason Tatum take a game-winning shot and it's a three-pointer in isolation? How many times? Because I've seen it more than enough.
A lot.
And I'm sick of it.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
He's absolutely selfish. He plays for himself. He doesn't play for a team.
here we
okay?
go. He's
And we've
getting
seen
hot. We get
because
hot.
we've
I
seen
like
the
it.
same
I like it.
crap
Yes.
all the way
Love
back
that,
Yes.
to when
man.
Kyrie Irving was playing
Yes.
here.
Yes.
It's the same
Love it.
garbage basketball, and I'm sick of it.
Love it.
The guy's got more excuses
Thank
than
you.
you know why.
Yes.
Trade him. Get
Yes.
rid of him.
It's Kyrie Irving.
He's worse than Kyrie
Took
Irving.
a lot of notes while Kyrie
He's
was
worse.
here.
And the reason why he's worse is because him and Kyrie are buddy, and they do it their way. That's why.
You know.
That's why. Because you're so, I don't want to be here without you. He probably doesn't want to be here.
Who on the Celtics is the one that can whip Tatum into shape?
Nobody.
And-
Because there's
exactly.
no veteran presence.
There's no one to hold him
and
accountable.
Kemba Walker.
Exactly.
He needs his Walker. Because he can't. His knee is trash. Look at the way he shoots. He barely gets any elevation, which tells you what? His knee's not good.
Yep.
You need to move on from Walker. You need to move on from Tatum. And, everyone needs to remember here, too, besides the year that we brought in Humphreys, okay, the Celtics really haven't had like a blow-it-up season where we're going to restart. They've always been, either good for the 6th or 7th seed, and they've somehow managed to get up to 4th seed. From, when we had Isaiah Thomas, we all thought the ceiling was going to come in because we weren't going to be a good team. The year after that, they traded Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen walked, Paul Pierce got traded. We bring back all these scrubs, Marshawn Brooks and, all these people back in the trade, like, oh, the Celtics are going to be terrible. They still did okay. They were still a 30-win team. The problem is that the Celtics have never really blown it up to a point where they can actually have a healthy rebuild. And they've been just plugging all these pieces, bringing in Al Horford and bringing in Kyrie Irving and, trying to get Tristan Thompson to come in. And, it doesn't work. Jeff Teague does not work here. You know what I would do right now? I would call up Atlanta. I would offer Jeff Teague. I would offer probably Marcus Smart. And I'd say I want back Rondo and John Collins. What pick do you want? And I would start there.
That's
interesting. And then I would move Tatum. And then, you know what? I'd probably find another point guard. Someone who can facilitate the ball, and I would say, you know what? I got Brown. All I need now is a shooting forward that could probably pin the corners, or that get a power forward. Right now, you have two players that want to play the same exact style, and you know what? I hate to say this to you. Jason Tatum's not a leader. Maybe it's because he's younger. I don't know. The real leader on that team is Jaylen Brown. And that's just how it is.
I'm not. I don't disagree necessarily.
And you can sit there and tell me that he's not a better shooter. Me personally, if I'm picking one of them to start a team around, and you're putting a gun to my head, it's Jaylen Brown.
I said Tatum wasn't a leader in the bubble, and I don't know anything about basketball, so
I'm so sick of seeing the Tatum show. Like you watch late in the game, who's the ball run through? Tatum. Why? What does he prove? He's had one game winner. One.
So listen, why don't we do this? It's 8:03. Top of the hour break. Let's take the break. At the end, when we come back, I want you to tell me who you're going to trade Jason Tatum from, and how that's going to who you're going to trade Tatum for, and how that makes the team better.
Okay, I can do that.
Hold it.
What we got? 3 minutes?
Now.
he told me Blockbuster Video for 33 gift cards, an undisclosed amount of money.
Yeah.
Nice.
But no, we're gonna take the break. It's gonna shorter top of the hour break because he's got his
boy.
audio cranking.
Turn
over
it down.
Trying to read a comment.
Golly.
On that note, top of the hour break. We'll be back. Stick around. Phone line open 508-222-1. Dos. That's not
Uno,
right.
tres.
Uno, tres, dos.
Cero.
Cero.
There you
Boom.
go. Attaboy.
Call it in.
Look at you.
I feel good.
Ladle.
I knew that I would.
Ladle.
MVP Sports Talk Radio.
Okay. All right. What's the trade?
Tim
What's the
was
trade,
ready.
Tim? What's the trade? Tell me the trade.
Tatum for.
Tell me the trade,
What'd you say?
and then I'll touch on it.
I got two guys that come into my mind.
Okay.
Zion Williamson.
Nah.
Yup.
You think New Orleans will give him up?
I think if you included Jason Tatum, they would. I
Why?
think they would.
That's.
I think they would.
I don't know, man.
I think they would. Second, I know you guys aren't going to like this, but there's a reason why I like it. Ben Simmons.
First off, Philly would never do that.
Yes, they would.
Not within
Yes,
the
they
division.
would. Yes,
No.
they would.
No.
Yes, they would. Why do you think they wouldn't?
Okay. All right. Okay. Let me take this back. Boston and Ainge would never do that.
Yes, they would.
I don't think so.
think they
They
would.
wouldn't trade Tatum within the
Why wouldn't
division.
they?
No.
Why wouldn't they?
All right. Tell me the last time Danny Ainge has ever made a move within the division.
When he traded that first pick to them. Markelle Fultz.
No, I'm talking about.
That's the last
No,
time.
I'm talking about actual players.
That's an actual
Actual
player.
players.
It's an actual player.
He traded that pick.
He knew they were
He
gonna take
traded that
Markelle
pick
Fultz.
knowing full well he could get his guy in Tatum at number 3.
No, he traded that pick knowing full well that he was going to be able to flip number 3 for a player, but the player didn't end up working
he could
out.
get Tatum.
Look up what he originally traded that third round. I mean, what he originally traded for that third pick for. I believe it was going to go for Paul George.
What third
And
pick?
the third pick when he traded, it wasn't because he wanted to pick Tatum less than the draft.
What do you mean? The first pick?
No.
When he traded it?
That first pick when he traded to Philly for the third,
Yeah.
it's because they were trying to move that pick, that early pick, for Paul George, and the trade fell through.
With who was Paul George with at that time?
I believe it was with Indiana. No. Was it? Yeah, it was Indiana because that year he went to Oklahoma. So I don't think that everyone's like, oh yeah, Danny Ainge nailed this one on the head. Did he nail it on the head, or was that the guy who was supposed to go for Paul George? They said, hey, we want this guy if you can get him. Obviously, if he can get a guy later on in the round and get help,
I think Ainge won that.
if he can sit there and go, oh, you know what? Yeah, I can get the guy they want, and on top of that, I can get more picks. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
I don't want Ben Simmons.
Dude, I'm telling you, Ben Simmons on this team would be a big help. A big help. It gets you rebounding. It gets you someone who can drive,
Yeah,
who's physical.
Only if he can get on the
biggest
floor.
thing-
He's never on the floor.
Yes, he is.
He's hurt. He's been hurt the past 5
Okay,
games.
Let's speak like actual player for
And he
player.
can't
Let's
shoot.
Okay, guess what? He's probably missed less time than Tatum has because Tatum's got COVID-19 for 2 months.
How does Ben Simmons make your team better, though? Like, I don't get it.
Because then you can now go and have Ben Simmons. You could probably package Kemba Walker for a big. So you would then have
Nobody's
Ben
going to
Simmons.
want to take Kemba's contract.
Yes, they would. Yes, they
No.
would. Yes, they would.
I'm
hypothetically
disagreeing
speaking,
with you
okay,
fully there.
hypothetically speaking-
No one's going to want to take that max contract for
Hypothetically
Kemba.
speaking, if you trade, like we were saying, Marcus Smart, who else did I say? For Rondo and
I'm all good for Smart going
Rondo
on.
and John Collins. Who did I say? Smart and who?
You said Smart and Kemba.
Okay, fine. So we'll say Smart and Kemba, although I don't think. But anyways, so you do that. You then move Tatum, we'll say hypothetically speaking, for Ben Simmons. Your starting 5 now becomes Rondo, Brown, Ben Simmons, John Collins, and you probably have Tristan Thompson or someone in there. I think that's a better lineup than you have now. I think the ball pops more. The problem is right now
you
the
lose a
ball
shooter.
doesn't move.
I think I don't know.
I'm telling you.
Nah, I'm not with it.
Ben Simmons,
So who would you trade Tatum for? You
I wouldn't trade Tatum.
You wouldn't trade Tatum?
No.
So you're okay.
His ceiling's too high right
So-
now.
okay, so
His
you-
ceiling's still too high.
But what does it do for you, though? What does it do for you?
What does what do
Are you
for
going to
me?
forever be okay with being an average 500 team or just above 500?
No,
And
no,
with
and
Jason
I
Tatum
said that
and-
before the season
Okay,
even
so
started,
what
and
do
I
you
knew
do
that
then?
it was going to happen.
So what do you do then?
What do you do?
What do you do? Because you're just going to pay these guys for the
You
next
need
4
a-
years and then
you
call
need
it a
a-
day?
You need a new coach.
Because it doesn't work.
First off, you need a new coach.
I don't think it's the coach.
I think it's the coach.
I
He's soft.
personally don't like the coach.
He doesn't hold anybody
I
accountable.
don't
He's a
like
college
the
coach.
But listen, he's the 5th tenured head coach in the league. He's been there for 8 seasons.
And he's done nothing.
I mean, I wouldn't say nothing. Like
He's done nothing.
Okay, how many losing seasons do they have?
He's done nothing.
How many losing seasons do they
It's
have?
stagnant. It's
How many
this.
losing seasons do they have?
It's this. He's soft.
How many Eastern Conference
he's
Finals
good.
games?
He's a college coach.
How many Eastern Conference Finals
He's
games?
a college coach.
How many Eastern
It's
Conference
not because of him.
They still win. He coaches the team.
It's
They
not because
win.
of him.
They're not going to go, oh, you've got us to 3 out of the last 5 conference games?
Yeah.
We're going to let you go.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
Tyronn Lue won an NBA championship. Do we put
sick.
him up there too?
But guess what?
No.
We all know that LeBron ran the show there.
Exactly. It's a players-run league. Coaches mean nothing.
Okay,
Unless they can hold players accountable.
Okay, so then why is it Ben?
Unless they can hold players
why
accountable.
Is it his fault then?
Huh?
Why is it his fault then?
Greg-
Why should he be fired?
Brad Stevens?
Yeah, why should he be fired?
Because he can't hold his players accountable.
But it's not his team though.
And it's all
Let
average.
the players run the team.
They do.
Apparently not.
You need a coach. You need to get a coach
Okay,
in
so
here
you're
that can
telling
hold
me-
players accountable.
So what you're telling me is that the coach doesn't run the team, the players do it. We should fire the coach because the players aren't performing, but yet the coach is still there for 8 seasons.
You need a
That's what you're
coach.
saying.
You need a coach that can hold the players accountable
Who's
and
that?
not be buddy
Who's
buddy.
that?
I don't know.
There is
anybody
there's
else
no
other
one
than
else
Stevens.
better. No, because there's no other coach out there right now other than maybe Greg Popovich, which we know is not coming. Eric Spoelstra is staying where he is. Who else? Who else?
I don't know.
There's nobody.
I don't know.
There is nobody.
I don't know. You need.
There
you need
is
something.
nobody.
You need a
It is
culture
not
change.
the coach.
You need a culture change.
You
need
need
a shake-up.
a player personnel change, and it starts with getting rid of Tatum.
It's not
because
Tatum.
that was what
It's
was
not
left
Tatum.
over from the Kyrie Irving cancer experiment.
You're overreacting.
I'm not.
You are
I'm not.
overreacting. We're 20
Everybody-
games in, Tim.
Dude,
we're 20 games
okay,
in.
fine, I understand that. But everyone wants to just worship the ground that Jason Tatum walks on because he's came out and he's been an above-average player, and he's done, yes, he's been incredible, and he's made all-stars and things like that. But you know what, though? Sometimes players just aren't supposed to play where they are. Okay? And if it's not working, what do? You sit there and hope that someday it's going to all of a sudden start clicking? Because you've now tried Gordon Hayward, Kyrie Irving, Al Horford, Kemba Walker. It doesn't work. So what do?
You don't trade Tatum.
So who do you trade?
You either need-
Jalen. I'd trade Jalen.
You're nuts.
I'd trade Jalen.
If you're not-
So what do you get for Jalen
His
Brown?
market's high right now.
No. What do you get for him?
Bradley Beal.
Not a chance.
Give me Bradley Beal.
Not a chance.
I'd take Bradley
if you're
Beal.
not trading
to
Tatum,
win right now,
if you're not trading
So
Tatum,
you think you have Bradley Beal and Jason Tatum?
yeah, you could do
No. Not
Yeah.
a chance.
if
think
you're not
so.
trading
I don't
Tatum,
believe
you
it.
need to get someone that can step in a leadership role, put him in his place, tell him what he needs to do, and he needs to listen. Other than that, they're not going to win. And I can.
it. I mean, I'm
can see
looking
that
at the
from-
team stats here. Our problem isn't on offense.
No,
it's
our
on
problem is
defense.
defense.
It's on defense.
Who's the better defensive player, Jalen Brown or Jason Tatum?
Jalen?
Thank you.
Jalen?
So why are you going to trade away your defensive player that's better? That doesn't make any sense. to me.
Bradley Beal's
So
on
you-
par?
So you want to get worse on defense?
No, Bradley Beal's on par with Jalen's defense.
So when it's only Bradley
And he
Beal out
scores
there, what's
32
going to happen?
points a game.
Things are still going to be the same. I said, and when you only have Bradley Beal out there, what's going to happen? It's still going to be the same.
what do you mean when you only have Bradley Beal out there?
When you only
think-
have Bradley Beal out there?
I would make that trade right now.
I would.
Bradley Beal's a better shooter, just as good of a defender,
I don't think he's
You
as
get
good
more
as a
offensive
defender.
production.
and I don't think he's as athletic either.
and more versatile
I would more versatile.
in terms of shooting. Yes,
Dude, Jalen
absolutely.
Brown could play 1 through 4.
This is the first time we've seen Jalen Brown ever shoot like this, and we're again.
I would beg
you're
that. I would
overreacting
beg
because
that.
we're 20 games in.
I would beg that because when we were in the playoffs with Kyrie, he
Jalen
probably played
has
lights
not
out.
shot like this in his entire career.
In the playoffs. Go look at the playoffs.
He has not shot like
Go
this.
look at the playoffs.
No, he hasn't.
Go look at the playoffs.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey, who are we trading for Bradley Beal?
He says
I'd-
Jalen Brown.
I'd trade Jalen for him.
I don't understand how that.
I would trade Jalen before Tatum.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't
I would
make
trade
the team
Jalen
better.
before Tatum.
I just don't understand how any of those trades make your team better. I just don't get it.
on that
There
note,
are five players that I would trade for Jason Tatum, and I'll tell you them on the other side of this break.
Are we hitting a break?
I'm holding this break. We do have a caller, so I do want to get the caller. Caller, you are on the air, and I don't know. I have a feeling I know who it could possibly be. So if it's you, let's keep this PG. Caller, you're on the air.
I've been waiting for
I knew
this.
it.
I won't swear.
I wait for
promise.
this.
I knew it.
But
Have the dump button ready.
If I could say one thing to the big guy in the Tampa Bay stuff, it must have drank something bad in the water down there because I don't know what's wrong with him. Someone needs to smack him in the head while you're all there.
Paul, let me ask you a question. Paul, let me ask you a
Come on,
question.
bro.
Let me ask you a
You're
serious question.
crazy.
Hold on, let me ask you a serious question. True or false? I've liked Jason Tatum since day one.
True.
Okay, so understand this is not me talking as a fan. This is me talking as a sports analysis, like actually getting into the game. I'm telling you,
But
there is better
if you're gonna
options
sit there,
for Jason Tatum.
and it's not bum Ben
You can
Simmons.
say it. You can say that.
I think you can say that.
Just don't
I think-
excessively say it, but you can say it.
Yeah.
Bun-
Listen, but okay.
And Ben Simmons? Come on, dude's broken his ankle like every other year.
Yeah, that's because that's the way he plays. I mean, Jason Tatum's had
Can't
an injury
shoot,
every year
can't
too.
dribble.
But you're not
His
bringing him
nose
in to
gets in the
shoot,
way
though.
of
That's
shooting
the
the
thing.
ball.
You're not bringing him in to shoot. You're bringing him
Doesn't
in.
matter. He's not the answer for Tatum.
You
who's
are
20
bringing
years
him
old.
in. He's
And
not
Ben
that
Simmons
much.
is
He's
old.
not that much younger.
25?
Is he 25 or is he 26?
Simmons isn't that
20.
old.
No, he's not that old. Like, it's a pretty legit trade. Like, I mean, you need
Tatum
someone
is the
who's going
future.
to rebound.
We need to go out and trade for Anthony Towns like you're supposed to be doing.
Anthony
Why
Towns
are we
isn't the
even
answer.
talking about that?
Sorry. So let me ask you a question. Who do you trade for him?
I'm gonna trade Jalen and Kembo because Kembo's a bum anyway. Too.
No one's going to take Kemba. I don't think anyone's going to take on that.
I
max
doubt
contract.
it. I mean, you would
Nobody.
have to
Absolutely
take back
nobody.
money.
No,
You'd have to take
probably
back
not. But it's more of an intrigue thing. But you should get rid of.
I'm not trading Jalen
for-
over Jason Tatum.
I'm not.
There's no chance. I think, and we talked about it just a couple minutes ago. The way the defense is hurting that we don't have, you can't go and trade away your defense. The problem here is
No.
defense.
So
Because
that's why
what do
you
we
don't
average
trade
on a
Smart.
game?
You leave Smart. Smart's the heart and soul of our defense.
Yeah, but how many times has Smart been out on an injury?
Well, true. But
Every
still.
year it's some sort of serious injury, and then we all know in the playoffs he gets injured. Every year, every single year. I think the Celtics made a bonehead decision in bringing in Jeff Teague. I don't know if bringing Isaiah Thomas back would have been much better, but I don't think Teague fits here. The bench, I mean, another thing that really ticks me off is, we go and grab the best shooter in the draft in Naismith, and the guy's barely seen the floor. Instead, we're playing.
He's playing more the last couple of games. Like, he got some good PT the other night. Last night's game, it was only 4 guys off the bench, and it was Pritchard and Neesmith were pretty well featured along
Right,
with.
and he looked good, So I'm confused as to why for the first month and a half we didn't see him.
So
But
quick.
it took him 25 games to get to the point where Brad trusts him to put him in there that much.
So your big point on Jaylen Brown's playoff stats in the bubble? 20.
No, not just in the bubble, because I know Tatum did better in the bubble. I was talking
He
more or
averaged
less.
20.8 and 6.5 rebounds in the bubble.
I'm not talking about the bubble.
That's not
though,
bad.
because we all know
That's
what
not-
Tatum did there. What I was saying is when we had Kyrie, when we had the deep run with Horford, when we lost to Cleveland in the Eastern
in
Conference
Game
Finals.
7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown was the better player in that series.
All right. Let's see. We'll address those stats after the break. Paul, thank you for calling. Any final thing to
I just thank him for keeping it PG.
Yeah.
Hey.
All I'm saying is we got to figure out a way to trade for somebody without getting rid of Brown or Tatum. Those two need to stay. Send everybody else. Who cares?
Okay, I'll give him that. I think you also need to find a way to get your PS4 up so we can play some Madden.
True.
You would say that.
We got a league waiting to
Have a
go.
good
Let's
night.
go.
Thanks for calling in, buddy.
I'll hit
Good talking as always. Hopefully we'll catch you on soon.
Later.
Let's take that break.
Let's do this. All right, we got 2 minutes for this break.
Yeah.
We're going to roll them.
Okay. We're rolling 2.
We're rolling 2.
Essentially what it boils down to. You don't trade Tatum. It's a little hard. That's a little, beyond, right? Let's get, 50 games into the season and see where he's at. But this team is soft. This team is Travis Kelce soft, is what it
Hey,
is.
here's what you want to get a guy in here that's going to make a difference. You call up and you say, we want Karl Anthony Towns. You offer him the next 4 first-round picks.
Whoa.
And Kemba Walker, because you got to match up the contract, and you get Karl Anthony Towns in here. That's how you get Karl Anthony Towns. Because guess what? Those 4 freaking picks aren't going to be useful if your team doesn't have a core that's going to make you better than Philly or New Jersey or L.A. or whoever else you want to put them up against. So that's how you do it. Call them up right now. Danny, don't be a dope. If you're listening, call them up. 4 picks. They're yours. Have them. Have a nice day. If we do well, they're going to be low picks anyway, so who cares? And get rid of Walker and his crap contract and bring in Karl Anthony Towns. That's what you got to do today. Call him up, make it happen.
So Carl
That's
Anthony
how you
Towns,
do
you're going to have to give away a big haul.
Yeah,
Would you settle for Andre Drummond?
No.
No.
Andre Drummond, that guy is old as. Oh my! Stop.
He's 27.
Yeah, he's not what he used to be.
I mean, it's a big.
You know what you need?
You need a big, right?
Here's the thing: you don't just need a big; you need a big to stretch the floor. And if you go to stretch the floor with a big, what do you need? A rebounding what? Small forward, shooting guard. That's why I'm saying you need to move Tatum for the likes of a Ben Simmons or someone like that. You need to be able to rebound. You need to be able to stretch the floor. This team is not going to win. Period.
I said that from the
Because
get-go.
Kemba Walker.
I mean, you did say this was a championship
Yeah, well, I
team
also
at the
didn't think
beginning
that
of the season. So.
Right, but I also didn't think that Kemba Walker's leg was going to be broken for the whole damn season. This is going back to last year. My leg.
I always knew
With that,
Kemba
we're
would
taking
be-
the break. Stick around. 508-222-1320. We got hockey. We got baseball. We'll wrap up basketball. Don't go anywhere.
I got an idea.
What's your idea?
Let's trade Jason Tatum for Larry Bird.
Here we go. So
Larry Bird.
So to
Mr.
close out the
Larry
basketball
Johnson.
arguments, right? So you have the Celtics here, right, that are like average, mediocre, right? Can't make it out of an Eastern Conference final to save their life and always underperform in the playoffs at the end of the playoffs, right? And you get all of these other teams that are like flourishing right now that were in a similar situation than you are, right? You've got Utah, who's 23-5 right now. Donovan, that team is flourishing. You've got the Trailblazers that are flourishing. Phoenix is coming on. Devin Booker's a stud.
Give
that
me
team's-
Damian Lillard.
Why are we not flourishing like these teams? What's the missing piece? We have the talent. The talent is there, right?
Yeah.
The talent is all there.
Yeah.
Like we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
I think talent-wise, you can compare to these teams that are outperforming you talent-wise. So what's the missing piece?
Defense. It's hard to win games when you're letting up over 110 points a game.
But I mean, you haven't had that problem in past seasons.
No, because you had
defense has been your strength.
So one thing you're missing your defensive juggernaut in Marcus Smart. I know he's a terrible offensive player, but defensive-wise, he plays his role. You also have a younger team. You don't have many veterans. You're missing bigs that can control the paint. I mean, I'm sorry, but like I know that we all love him and we're all high on him, but Robert Williams, like he's not gonna shut everyone down. Like he has his flashes, but that's tough. Like you can't look at Rob Williams and be like, okay, this guy can go get me 10 points, 20 points a game. Like that's never gonna be his game. His game is a defensive player off the bench that can play center.
Here's another thing.
And let's be honest here, right? As much as I like the dude, as long as he's on the roster, I really can't take the roster serious. Taco Fall, like he's on the top 15
relax,
players.
my boy.
No, but I'm being serious. Like he's a great dude. I think he's funny. Like he's great to watch. I love the energy when he comes in. I love the whole taco.
Is it a wasted roster spot?
I think so. I think you mean to tell me you can't find another player that can come in and do more than what he's doing?
No,
I'm just being honest. Like I'm not sitting here talking like as a Celtics fan again, because I like Taco Fall, but like I'm sitting there and I'm like, if he's a guy that can barely make it up and down the floor, like
what do you want to do with him? If you want to develop him,
you got to send him back down to Maine.
Put him in the G League.
But I don't think he would ever be. He's never going to grow into his body enough to be able to be like, like a considerable like threat in the league.
Like a Yao Ming.
Here's another thing. What are we
like that.
doing with Neesmith, man?
That's what I was saying.
He plays 4 minutes against Washington and then plays like 32 minutes the next night.
Yeah.
And what, drops a dud at 4 points on like 1 of 5 shooting in 30 minutes.
Right.
What are we
That's
doing?
what I'm saying,
That's another question why that's another reason why I question the coaching. What's Stevens doing? Like some of his coaching decisions have been
right, but again, I can't sit here and blame the coach when the coach has had winning seasons and he's brought us to championship games. If you're going to sit here and tell me that we've had 3 seasons where we're 32 and whatever, 32 and 50 or whatever, then okay, I agree with you. But I mean, we've had different sets of players in here, right? We've gone through different rotations, different lineups, and we were still able to be a 40-50 win team. So to me, like, it's not the coaching. Right now, if anything, you're asking what's happening. That's on the players, man. The players don't play hard enough. And I see times where, again, it comes back to where Tatum wants to get into an isolation, step back 3. He wants to do his Kobe fadeaway. Like, one thing Tatum needs to realize, dude, you're not Kobe Bryant. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, he gets in the paint, he wants to do his little shimmy, and then he wants to hit his fadeaway, and it, hits off the rim. It's just like he's trying too hard, I think, to try to be great. And he needs to just be – Tatum needs to be, Tatum. Right? And the ball doesn't move well. And I don't know if that's because we don't have a facilitating point guard or what it is. But, I think that right now there's too much just focus on, hey, we can shoot the lights out. Because we all know all of them can shoot the ball, right? Kemba can shoot, like, if Kemba's healthy, he can shoot the ball. I just don't think that there's enough, like Rondo. Like, the reason why the team, like in 08, we were able to do great things and win a championship was because we had a guy that could facilitate the passes. We don't really have that. Like, Kemba's not going to, like, wow you with his flashes. Kemba, the reason why we call him Cardiac Kemba is because his crossovers. That's something this team really doesn't need because you have that in Jason Tatum and you have that in Flashes and Brown. You know what I mean? Like, there's just different pieces that need to fit it.
What you got, Drew?
Hey, so I got to run, but I wanted to give you my 5 players that I would trade Jason Tatum for. You ready for it?
Whoa, okay. Go for it.
All right, so we're going to start off on the West Coast.
Can I ask you a serious question before you do this, Drew?
Yep.
Okay. Are these players that you would like to see or trades that you think would actually be able to happen?
Players that I think we would get an actual return on our player for that wouldn't be 80 cents on the dollar.
Okay, but you feel like these are realistic trades, not just someone that you'd want to see. Like I would love to see.
Like these aren't a pipe dream.
I'm not a GM in the NBA, Tim, so I can't tell you whether they're realistic or not. I'm just saying these guys would give you the value.
For a guy that does sports radio every Wednesday night, it's doable.
I'm just saying, like, I would like to see Damian Lillard, but I know that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's my number one guy. Okay, so that's number one. That's the guy right there.
Dame is number one.
That's the guy.
Okay.
Okay, that's a guy. All right, so let's move over to
He's
Milwaukee.
also older, which could
Let him
happen.
talk.
That's all right, but he's proven, and he's a hell of a scorer.
Yep.
Let's move over to Milwaukee. Let's get a guy like Giannis in here. I know you're going to have to package up some extra picks with him, but he's a guy that you would get enough value back to sacrifice a Jason Tatum. Again, older player, not much older, but a guy that can make a difference on your team, and he's not the same player as Jason Brown.
That makes you a championship contender.
As Jaylen Brown, okay? So there you go. Let's go down to a team that they just played against.
Contender.
Let's go to a team that they just played against. Let's get Murray from the Nuggets.
Jamal Murray. I like that.
I would trade Tatum for that guy.
There's your point guard. There's your facilitator.
Yeah, I could take- I
There's
would
your
take that.
facilitator.
There's your point guard, okay? So there you go. There's a dude, all right? Now, the last two guys, probably not going to happen. But, again, maybe it's somebody that you can get. If you could find a way to package up enough stuff to get Nikola Jokic from Denver, there's a guy I would trade him from. So you can't get Murray and Jokic, but if you could get him somehow, let's get him. I don't know. Probably not going to happen. I don't see it going down. And the only other guy that I would say let's trade Jason Tatum for is at the Atlanta Hawks in Trae Young.
We were just joking about that off.
Yeah, that Atlanta's not going to let go of Trae.
Here's in an all ideal world, who I would really like to trade Jason Tatum for is Jimmy Butler.
No, Jimmy Butler.
That's not enough return.
I think
Not
it is.
enough.
I think it is.
No.
I think it is.
So
We're talking about
We're
old.
forgetting.
We're talking about old.
We're forgetting.
I'll say I wanted to say bye to him, but y'all just.
Oh, he hung up?
Yeah, he said he had to go.
Oh, okay.
We're forgetting.
Drew, if you still listen, appreciate you as always.
Absolutely.
Have a great week.
Yeah, buddy.
We're forgetting when we sat in this studio. What was it? 4 months ago? 5 months ago? And we all praised Jimmy Butler, and then
the
realized,
championship?
oh, I was wrong on Jimmy Butler. I was wrong on Jimmy Butler. He brought that team to the championship, on the brink of a championship.
Right, but
And why?
He's 32.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I don't need someone who's young. What I need, if in this window, what I need to be competitive in the East, because let's be honest, man, the East isn't really that like
You
spread.
wouldn't have to trade Tatum for
Yeah, you
Butler.
would. Yes,
though.
you would.
I don't think so.
Who gets you Jimmy Butler then?
Jalen does.
No, I guarantee you he doesn't.
I think Jalen does.
Guarantee you he doesn't.
I would. That's no. I
Guarantee
wouldn't.
you doesn't.
That's.
I
Not,
would move Tatum.
You.
I would move Tatum.
Boston
Bring
would
him
be,
in.
New England would be up in arms.
No,
if
they
that-
wouldn't.
if that happened.
No. Okay.
would.
At first, maybe, and then they realize, hey, you know what? This guy actually plays with heart. He can actually shoot the ball. He's physical. He plays defense.
If Butler was like
Yeah.
27, 28, yes.
You're putting
He's
way
32,
too. Okay.
man.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
And he averages
So let me
maybe
ask you a
17,
question.
18
Let me ask
right
you a
now.
serious question then.
Yeah.
We call up LA. We say, hey, we want to trade Tatum for LeBron. They say, yep, let's do it. You're not going to do that?
Butler's not LeBron.
You're not going to do that.
Butler's
but
not
I'm talking
even
about age. But I'm
close.
talking about age. You're not going to do that. How old's LeBron?
That's a much different.
How old is LeBron?
That's a much different
old's
conversation. That doesn't matter.
How old is he?
You're putting Jimmy Butler and LeBron in the same sentence.
Your biggest thing is age. That's your thing.
Age and his stats don't back it up. He's averaging less than 20 a game.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
And he's not even. Oh, and my volume's high?
No, you
Levels
just
high?
sound really like
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
it's not as clear.
Let me back it up here.
There you go.
Let me back it up here. There we go.
It's just not
There
as
we
clear.
go. Your return on investment
I got the
is
levels.
not good enough.
Clarity.
Not nearly good enough for a player for Tatum's caliber of a player. It's not.
I think you're wrong.
It's not.
I just think that you and others just think that Tatum's on a level that he's not.
I'm not saying that.
But you're saying that the return's not enough. But,
right.
But realistically, what is the return that we have right now for Tatum?
What's
Nothing.
the return?
What has he brought the Celtics? Other than the one All-Star game that he had, which I remind you, he probably won't likely see that again if he plays this way because the East is a lot different than what it was last year. Okay, you've added 2 studs and KD and James Harden into this league now. Okay, and you've also got Russell Westbrook here now. Okay, so I just want to point that out. For him to make the playoffs, he better. The All-Star game, he better turn it up. And I'm also going to tell you, if he does in fact make the All-Star game and he goes and plays that game, I will forever put him on my you-know-what list. Okay, because he wants to be out here talking about, I can barely make it up and down the court because I can't breathe. But yet, it's weird how he's playing tonight and he's having a decent night. Wow, those symptoms from COVID just, they disappeared overnight. In 2 nights, he went from not being able to breathe to being able to breathe again. It's a miracle.
He still has to grow up.
He must have went to Medjugorje over the weekend. All of a sudden he's healed. He called him the healing priest, and they said Our Father and a Hallelujah over him. And all of a sudden he's like, oh my God, I can breathe again. These guys get ready to go to Mass and start saying the whole Mass. He's sitting there passing out the Eucharist. He's up there with the body of Christ, the blood of Jesus. You know what? It's an excuse. It's an excuse.
Ding dong.
The bell for the Eucharist.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. And the guy rose again from the dead.
God
Maybe
said,
he is
take
Jesus
this,
Christ.
all of you, and eat it. This is my body, which has been broken
I'm
up
sorry, but
for
if you as a Celtics fan are not pissed off at the fact that this guy 2 or 3 days ago was out there saying, I can't make it up and down the court because I can't breathe. Okay, and now he comes out today.
It rubbed me the wrong way entirely.
And he's running up and down the court like he's got no issue. What did he get? An albuterol inhaler?
This is what's weird about that situation because in years past, Tatum has owned up more often than not.
When did he own up?
And last year and the year before, when he went through that tough, especially last year, that 15-game tough stretch, he owned up to it. He was like, I'm not playing well. I'm not playing well for my team. I got to own up to it. I got to play better. Okay, cool. And now this season, he gets COVID, and then he has that built-in excuse. And that I've never.
That Kyrie Irving.
You want to know why?
It threw me for a loop.
You want to know why? Last year he wasn't paid, just like Nick said.
Well, now
this
he's paid.
year he's paid. He doesn't give
care
a damn.
anymore.
He does not.
He's got to grow up, man. He still has to grow up.
That's the problem. He's not mature enough. But everyone wants to sit here and go,
right.
You're not going to get enough in return for Jason Tatum.
Yes.
You're not going to return.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
You're going to get more of a return out of a 32-year-old Jimmy Butler than you would at a 22-year-old Jason Tatum.
So regardless of what he's doing now, across the league, his ceiling is high.
Listen,
and his trade, if you were going to realistically trade him, you are not getting enough value back for just Jimmy Butler. You need to get more than just Jimmy Butler.
Why?
Because
you're overvaluing one player. That's the problem.
I'm not overvaluing.
Dude, Jason Tatum could run up and down the court right now and blow at his ACL.
I'm not.
He could get hit by a bus tomorrow. He could get shot. He could do multiple things. Guess what? We don't know.
I'm not overvaluing him.
You are though, because you're sitting here saying that we're not
because
there are you're afraid
because there are teams in this league that overvalue him. So you need to take advantage of that. You need to take advantage of that.
So who do you get? Because who's going to overvalue him? That you're going to sit
You
there.
need more than Jimmy Butler.
Because you're not going to get
more than just Jimmy Butler.
You're not going to get
than a 32-year-old Jimmy Butler who's averaging less than 20
I would take Jimmy Butler right now.
And shoots like 40%.
I would take him. You need a leader. That gets you a leader. You need a veteran. That gets you a veteran. You need someone who's going to come in there, just like I saw in Hard Knocks a couple years ago.
Get better.
Hold on. Just like I saw in Hard Knocks a couple years ago, where Jarvis Landry came in as no business on that team. He went there. He sat every single young, stupid receiver in that room and said, listen, if you don't start playing you know what off, get the hell out. We need a guy like Jarvis Landry. To come in there, put all them young bucks right in check and say, listen, you don't want to play here? Pack your bags, get the hell out.
Especially Tatum.
Because you know what? Everyone, and this is the problem, and I've said it since day one of Tatum coming in here, his ego's inflated. Because look at all the commercials he's got. Look at all the accolades that he's already been put at him. Oh, Tatum's the greatest since day one. Since day one when he came in. Oh, this guy's going to be the next LeBron. This guy's going to be, No. And this is the problem with young athletes. Their ego. He went to college for 1 year. 1 year. He's not a man.
All players do that.
No, all players don't do that.
Yeah, they do.
Mostly nowadays, yes, but all players don't do that.
Go to college 1 year and go to the league.
Not all of them. Some, yes.
99%.
Not Trae Young
your
didn't.
Top players do that.
Trae Young didn't. It's not everybody that does that. I'm just telling you.
I would say that's what differentiates the NFL from the NBA.
Right. So when you have all these people who are feeding your ego with all this crap and giving you all these endorsements, and, the guy's got his own shoe and he signed to Jordan. He hasn't accomplished anything. Congratulations, you made an all-star game on a year where there was people hurt left and right. Kyrie Irving was out on vacation, or he'll say, I was taking a mental break. You know what I mean? Like, it's not hard at that point to make it in the AFC. I mean, in the Eastern Conference, okay, or the AFC, whatever you want to call it. Okay, he played in a weak division. He got an accolade, and now he thinks that he is God's gift to the earth. I'm sorry, Jason Tatum, you don't do it for me right now. Figure it out, because if you want to get paid like a star and act like a star, you better damn well be a star, and you're not.
I think I'm not as mad.
I am. I'm pissed.
I'm not as mad because I knew this would happen.
Accountability.
Like I knew that this would happen.
Year, and I don't know anything about basketball.
I knew this would happen. Like it's just.
I was mad when they paid him the contract because they should have been a 1 year deal.
Same story, different year, same Celtics team that we've seen for the past 5 years. It's the same thing.
Where they try to build off of two people, and they try to put in crap fillers around them with a bunch of has-beens. And that's just what it is.
I also kind of don't care about the regular season.
Neither do I. But I mean, at this rate, they're not going to get in.
Well,
they continue to play the way they are.
Well, no, they're the fourth seed.
They're
in the
a 500
East.
team.
They're the fourth seed in the East, and they're the
but for me,
last
I'd
team
rather
with a
not
winning
make the
record in the
playoffs
East.
than make them knowing I don't have a shot at winning anything.
There are 4 teams in the East with a winning record.
I would rather not make the playoffs than to know I don't have a shot in hell of winning anything after.
Right.
You know you're not winning the ship. I don't want to be there. So, if New England strung out a wild card win this past season, I knew they weren't winning the Super Bowl. I don't want them to be there. At this point, you're just affecting
put it this way, right?
Draft value.
So the Celtics, as they sit, they're 14-13. Okay, 9th seed Bulls are 11-15. This is no you know what? They're gonna win. They're gonna get in. This is no guarantee.
No, not at all.
And even to be honest with you, the Hornets are 13-5. So there's a 1 game difference. So do you really feel accomplished if you get in as the 8th seed and you get knocked out in the first round?
So just go down the list. You're not better than Philly.
No, you're not. You're not better than the Nets. You're not better than the Bucks. You're not better than the Pacers.
You're not better than the Pacers. Pacers are much more physical.
Knicks,
you're better than the Knicks.
Maybe.
Raptors.
I don't think you're better than the Raptors.
No.
Because you want to know why? The Raptors play together. They don't play for their own self. They play for each other.
You lost to the Heat last year in the playoffs. They absolutely dominated you. So
I think that the Hornets are better
the Hawks, and you just lost in back-to-back games to the 2 worst teams in the East, in the Wizards and the Pistons. Back-to-back games. And then the West, forget about it. You're not better than 8, 9, maybe 10 teams in the West. Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah.
The Celtics are a problem.
Yep.
Embrace the suck.
But you need to change the problem. You do. And how you do that is by making changes. And listen, you can sit there and say that you want to trade away, Jaylen Brown over Tatum. That's fine. The problem is right now is that Tatum's a cancer. And that's the problem.
Oh, you think he's
I think that Tatum is a cancer.
You think his ego is rubbing the entire team the wrong way? So
first off, if I'm Jaylen Brown, I'm pissed.
Okay.
Because everything like I've said earlier as far as, the winning plays go through him and, the offense runs through him. When this offense runs through Jaylen Brown,
the year that Jaylen's having, it should run through him right now. But it absolutely should.
But my whole thing is, when you look at the way when the offense runs through Jaylen Brown, it is much more functional than what it is when they run through Jason Tatum. Mm-hmm. And the big problem is because Jason Tatum wants to get an isolation shot. And this goes back to when we were talking about last year in the playoffs. When we had an opportunity to win the game, and he decided that he wanted to look for the more flashier step-back three.
Step back.
And I said that's him trying to get paid, and he wants the big shot, and he wants, the LeBron James moment with him dunking over him, things like that. Rather than driving to the hoop and getting, maybe fouled, they're going to call it, probably not, or, looking for the kick out, instead he decides, let me go into an isolation.
And
it's a selfish
as you're saying this,
play.
They just showed 3 highlights of Tatum stepping back and hitting all 3 shots.
Of course he did. But he's got COVID-19 2 days ago.
Oh,
it's weird. COVID all those symptoms just gone.
They're facing Trae Young though.
Gone.
Oh, there it is. Rebounding.
All right. On that note, we're taking a break.
Last break.
Stick around. Final
Last break
break.
of the night.
508-222-1320. Call in. On that note, we'll be back.
Oh, look, Jimmy Butler.
Welcome back, MVP Sports Talk Radio. Final 11 minutes here of the show. What are we going to finish it out with?
I kind of wish Drew was still on the phone. Talk Red Sox. You
Red
guys been
Sox
following
suck.
along? You guys been following along with the
No,
Red Sox?
I'm actually excited for the Red Sox. And Nick will tell you, like, I
please.
usually I don't want to talk Red Sox. I'm actually kind of excited. I'm really excited.
What are you excited about, Tim?
I'm excited.
You know, I'm excited that Fenway might allow half capacity by July and August,
Yeah.
and I can go to a game.
So here's why I'm excited.
That's the only thing I'm excited
I'm
about.
not excited. I haven't bulldozed Fenway yet.
This guy wants to tear down Fenway. All right.
Well,
in
they
all
can't tear it
seriousness-
down. It's an
in all
historic
seriousness,
monument. So
you ready?
Keep it as a
This is why
museum.
I'm excited for the Red Sox, because for the first time, they don't have a team that's got a bunch of studs on it that you look at and say, "Oh, they should be this and they should do that," because we all know. Back to the idiots. That's when the Red Sox perform the best, when they've got a bunch of meatballs on the team that no one really knows, and that there's no expectations, and then they come out and they shock the freaking world.
Yeah.
That's why I'm excited
Yeah.
for this team.
You know why? Because those were ball players. You know who we
These
have
are
on
still
our
ball
team
players.
now? Hind Bloom's analytical BS. That's
Hey,
what we have.
You know what, though? Analytics prove to win, man. They prove to win.
No.
They do.
No, they
They
don't.
do.
Tell that to Tampa Bay.
Tell that to L.A.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay were ball players. Those are ball players. What are we doing?
Yeah, and the analytics smoke.
What are we
Tampa Bay.
doing? What are we doing? You trade Benintendi and you get nothing
That's
back.
a great trade.
You get nothing
Great
back.
trade. Great trade.
Great trade. Why?
Great trade.
Why?
Because you weren't
Please
going
tell
to
me why.
Because you weren't going to be able to get Benintendi back anyways.
Why not?
Because you weren't.
He was still locked in for 2 years. Why not?
Because so first off, the MLB is not the same as the NFL, where like
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
Okay, so he wasn't going to come back. So you trade him when you can get.
So I'm not against trading Benintendi. I'm against the return you got back.
I like
for
the
him.
return. I like the return. I don't find anything wrong with it. This also comes to again where you're
Do you know
overvaluing
who Franchi
people.
Cordero is?
No, I didn't until I looked him up after the trade, and you know what? I said, you know what? Between him and the picture that we got, it's a great trade. Because I don't overvalue Benintendi, because I think
I'm not overvaluing Benintendi.
What did he hit
Benintendi
last
anyway.
year?
I thought Benintendi was a
What did he hit
wash.
last year?
Benintendi is gonna get you. He's a ball player, right?
No, he's not.
He gets you. He'll get you 270 to 300 hitter every year.
Really?
He'll get you 15 to 20 home runs
Really?
and probably 75, 80 RBIs in a full season.
Really? What
Yeah.
did he hit last year? Do me a favor, look it up.
Last year? What in a shortened MLB season
It doesn't
and the
matter.
Sox
It's
were
still
terrible?
That
Full
is pretty
season.
crap. That was
He didn't
230.
play.
Look it up.
He didn't play.
Look it up.
He didn't play.
Look up what he last had. Maybe
He
it wasn't last
didn't
year. Maybe it was the
play.
year before. Let's look it up.
Awkward silence. This is going to be a long debate, and I have a feeling
It's-
we're going over on time.
Let's see.
We might.
Okay.
He had 39. Okay.
So the guy that
He
hit
had 39 at bats last year.
and he hit 103.
Stop it.
And he hit 103. The year before that, 266. 290 in the year that they had
Right.
a really dominating year.
Right.
Okay. 271, 295, 273.
He had 39
I don't.
at bats.
Okay, and hold on. Let me see the home run count. It's not showing up on here. Let's see if we go through this way.
He had 39 at bats last
Okay,
year.
home runs in order.
He was
2,
hurt.
20, 16, 13. And, oh, no, let me go in actual reverse order. 0, 5, 6. No, I'm sorry. 0, 13, 16, 20, and 2.
Right.
He's not a player that I'm going to be like, oh my God.
What did I just
You-
say? Are you listening
But
to me?
you're seriously, we didn't get enough in the trade
Are you
back. It's
listening
kind of
to
like
me?
the Tatum deal.
Are
You
you
think we
listening
wouldn't get
to me?
enough.
Are you listening to
I'm
me?
listening.
I said Benintendi is going to get you a 260 to 300 hitter.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get you 15 to 20 home runs a year and probably 80 to 90 ribbies
So now look up the stats
on
of
a full season.
Look up the stats of Francisco.
Franchi Cordero
Yeah, look up the
is
stats.
a joke.
Look up the stats.
He doesn't put the ball in play. He strikes out about 5 times as much as he gets a hit. All right? He'll get you a home run in every maybe, 20, 25 plate appearances if you're lucky. The guy's unproven. He can run and his launch angle's great. And the ball and his batting average on balls that he puts in play. He puts the ball in play once every 25 plate appearances.
So, I mean,
He's terrible.
So going off of what you said, okay, because you want to say we only have 30-something at-bats. So last year he had 38 at-bats, and he batted a 211, which is better than Benintendi. The year before that, he had 15 at-bats, and he batted a 333. The year before that, he had 139 at-bats, and he batted a 237. And the year before that, he had
terrible.
92 at-bats, and he batted a 228.
Yeah,
so
terrible. Pretty bad.
So tell me exactly
That's
why you
Jackie
think
Bradley
that he's
numbers.
better.
That's like worse than Jackie Bradley.
228, 237.
Pretty bad.
Right, but he doesn't have the plate appearances that
Well,
Benintendi did.
the 133 plate appearances.
That's 1 year. That's
He's-
1 year.
He's unproven.
Okay, so he's
and-
unproven either
and
way.
he strikes out all the time.
He's unproven either
and
way.
he's a launch angle guy.
So give
That's
him
it.
give him a full year of playing, and
You
then make a
could've-
judgment off the
You
trade.
could have gotten a much better return for Benintendi.
No, you couldn't have.
It's a terrible return.
Okay, so
it's
if
an
you
awful
could
trade.
have, so then why did they find
What
a
are
better
we
trade?
doing?
Why did they find a better trade?
What
Because
are-
they were trying to trade him for
At
over a
this
year. We know
point-
that
At this point, if the Red Sox are even close to 500, that's a success.
they're going to be over 500.
It's a success.
They'll be over 500.
They'd be lucky.
They'll be over 500.
They'd be lucky.
They'll be over.
They would be real.
I still
real
would
lucky.
like you to
I'll
tell
bet
me-
a meatball sub on that.
Okay.
I'll bet
Okay.
a meatball sub on
I
that.
would still like for you to tell
Shake
me
on it.
who
Fist pound on
you.
it. Okay,
I still
meatball
want you to
sub,
tell me who you
500
think that
or
we should have
better.
traded Benintendi for, because you're sitting here telling me that it's not enough. It's not enough. It is enough.
not.
It's enough for the idiot that wanted to dance and do
It's
his
not.
little with the rest of his goon bag boys out in center field.
Yeah,
and
it
think
won
that
you a
they
World
were
Series.
Yeah,
Yeah, 1 year World Series.
sick. So is everyone on that team just like the greatest thing? Should we go get like all of them back?
You didn't get a good return on Mookie.
Yes, you did.
You got him for pennies on the dollar.
You got a good return on Mookie because Mookie wasn't going to sign back here. That's what you don't understand. Mookie was not going to be
The
here.
Red Sox don't want to win.
Exactly.
The old-
So if you saw that happening, trade him sooner when his value was higher.
They couldn't.
At the trade deadline.
They
the year after.
they won. They won the
after
year that
we
they
won.
saw him good.
The year after we won in 2019
Those-
at the deadline is when you should have traded
and
Mookie.
they were trying to get him to stay.
Those old white owners who don't want to pay black players
I'm telling you right now.
good money
For the next 2
let's not make this a white owner versus black owner.
that pretend to
The
be
suck.
woke don't want to win.
Embrace the suck of the Red
They don't
Sox,
wanna pay
'cause That's
people.
what's going to happen for the next
They
2
don't
or
wanna
3
pay
years.
people. They wanna
You
have a
the
bunch of
second-
guys.
You have the second highest payroll in baseball, and you're going to be lucky to be a 500 team.
And they don't want to pay going forward. They want to bank money, and they want to keep repairing that crap show stadium, barely making
It's a great
attendance,
stadium.
and just
It's a
calling
great
it.
stadium. It's still a great stadium.
Well, you pay double the ticket price to go watch a team lose.
I don't pay double the ticket price.
I think it's a
pay
good
$8 to
stadium.
$10 a game.
I think it's a nice stadium.
Yeah, because they suck.
On
When they're
StubHub.
doing
The day of.
when they're doing half
I get tickets in the bud deck, baby.
when they're doing half decent, you're paying $300, $200 a whack.
I've never paid that much for a Sox game.
2018, I never went to a game for more than $30.
Yeah, because you sit in Guam.
Yeah, and you
wanna-
gotta know the
Get a
secrets
decent
of
seat.
the trade. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I've always said if I'm going to the game, I want it to be a better view.
I mean,
than
I'm
at
just saying. I mean, you could probably make the same argument with the Yankees. Like the Yankees tickets are probably ridiculous too.
And you got a lot more
Well,
bang
New
for your
York.
buck if you pay
don't
for
get more bang for your buck.
if you pay for a premium seat in the Yankee Stadium. You're getting basically a recliner to sit and watch the game, as opposed to Fenway, where I would fit in 2.5 seats because they're
That's true.
tiny.
That's true.
It's a washed-up stadium, and they pack
I like it.
for that. You can sit in the monster seats. Those are
tiny.
Nice. Those are nice.
Good.
They're not nice seats. Have you ever been on the Monster?
Yeah,
Little
they're bleachers.
spindle bar style.
Yeah,
like
they're bleachers.
Freaking.
Yeah,
I like them.
No thanks.
It goes to the stadium.
yeah.
It's history.
crap.
Different
It's
feel.
historic.
It's historic. It's why it needs to be a museum and not a stadium. Okay.
He's so mad.
Yeah, because you can't get enough fans in there. There's
The-
no parking
The
nearby.
Seats, the seats don't cater
Every-
to big boys.
Okay, so I hate to
That's
break
the
this
thing.
to you. Even if you were to build a new stadium in downtown Boston, you would
It
not
wouldn't
have
be
any
in
parking
Boston.
nearby.
It wouldn't be in Boston.
They're not going to move the Boston Red Sox out of Boston.
Why wouldn't they? The
Why
New
would
York,
they?
They
The
won't.
New York Jets and Giants play in New Jersey.
They're right on the borderline.
They've never had a stadium like Fenway Park.
They're not going to come out of Boston. That's
No.
no chance.
The team will never be good until they get real about the team. Instead, they're going to hold on to euphoria and all the, oh, it's Fenway, it's so majestic. It looks the same as it did back when Babe Ruth played. It's so nice. Oh, my God.
Did Babe Ruth even play at Fenway?
I want to pay 3 times the amount
you
of
sure about
money.
that?
And that's how pathetic it is, because you don't even know that.
I don't think he played at Fenway.
He did.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
he did.
Yep.
And you don't
Fenway
even know
opened-
that because you don't think
I
that
don't
Fenway
think he
is that
played
much
at
of a
Fenway.
crap
Fenway
shoot.
opened in 1918.
We're
and
Yeah,
Babe
but
Ruth-
there was those split years where they couldn't play there.
Babe Ruth got traded the following season, so he played there for a year.
I don't think he did. Look it up.
Even still, it was
I don't think
around
he
in
did.
his
Maybe.
time. It was around in his time. And that's bad enough. Okay? Freaking World War I, they were parking Willie's Jeeps on center field, for Christ's sakes. Get rid of it. It's time to get relevant.
I still
Okay.
love Fenway. I love going to that
I do
park.
too. I do
love it.
too. It's
love
an
it.
experience,
It
man. It's a
is.
day.
Totally. I
You
get
know what
it.
stadium I actually hate?
Going to the baseball.
I get it.
Speaking of which,
Build
my-
a big
stadium actually hate-
replica.
my buddy just posted a video of Boston. You know where the baseball tavern is? Mm-hmm. On that street where the Shell gas station is and where all those bars and nightclubs are. Yeah. Everything's torn down.
Yeah.
All of them went out of business.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
It's so
Here's what
sad,
you
man.
do.
The stadium I hate the most is probably Gillette.
Even better. Thanks to Marty.
Gillette.
I hate that
Even
stadium.
better. Even better.
So a worse is FedEx Field at in Washington.
See, I like FedEx Field.
That's the worst. It's
I
a
like
crap
FedEx
hole.
Field.
Even
When's
better.
the last time you were there?
Thank you, Marty Walsh. There's more. Thank you, Marty
'Cause
Walsh.
the last
There's
time
more
I was
real estate
there-
open in Boston to knock down and put up a new stadium.
The last time I was there was 2016 or 2015 when RG3 was a rookie.
Yeah.
I was at the playoff game against the Seahawks.
Yeah.
It's a crap hole, man. It's so bad.
I mean, the Redskins.
It's
Look,
the
I will
worst,
tell
it's
you-
the worst stadium I've ever been to.
I will tell you.
no.
My
Tim,
dad gave up his
Worst
tickets
stadium
because
I've
of
been
that.
to? You ready for this? Qualcomm Stadium.
Oh no,
Horrible.
Where the Rays play, Tropicana Field.
Tropicana's not bad.
It's bad.
Tim can agree, and this is probably why 9 out of 10 players can't play at Fenway. They always say, "Oh, it's hard to play at Fenway because the place sucks." Okay, take it from me. Okay, take it from a guy who has pooped on the same toilets as the players. I've worked security in that stadium for years. I did Tim as well. And let me tell you, was that visiting locker room with that MLB material? No, freaking the new Attleboro High is going to be nicer than that.
So to be honest with you, no. But if I'm a sports owner, I'm gonna make the other team as uncomfortable.
Okay,
as
but
possible.
absolutely.
as someone who has pooped in their bathroom, the Red Sox
So what?
clubhouse isn't much nicer. The batting cages underground aren't that
Well,
spectacular.
no, but I mean,
the
it's-
gym isn't that
when
spectacular.
it's old, man. It's
Yes.
old.
And you know what you do is you build a new stadium. You make it look just like Fenway, but better. And every every high end ticket, the low seats,
No.
you get a free ticket to the Fenway Museum, baby.
This is
Bada boom.
This is ownership's problem, though. They could John Henry could easily dish out the money and renovate that stadium and
yeah.
upgrade the amenities easily. Will he?
To an extent.
No,
You're
he's-
limited.
He's got
You
his
can't go
ego's-
up.
His ego's too big that his checks can cash easily, and he's got more important things to
Yeah.
worry about, like his English football team in Liverpool. That's what he's
happens.
focused on. He needs to
The
sell
best
the
thing
Red
that would
Sox.
happen to Boston.
He needs to sell
the
the
best
Red
thing
Sox
that would
to
happen
an
to
owner
Boston.
that actually cares.
The best thing that would happen to the Boston Red Sox is if John Henry tripped in front of the Amtrak, whatever, commuter rail. See you later.
He needs to sell the team.
He's not gonna.
He
because
should.
He's a rich, you know what, who doesn't care. Cash in the checks. Okay, Kraft cares. There's owners that care. Bills owners care.
Hey.
Tampa's owners care.
I know we didn't touch on it.
Plenty of
but
teams care. They don't
at
care.
least we have the Bruins. They're
They're doing great.
they're overperforming. They're
very,
doing great.
Very overperforming. We're
Love it. And we're in an easy with the division restructure.
very
we're
nice,
in an
nice and
easy
easy.
division. I love it.
One thing I
I'm
wanted to
about
touch.
it.
I know we're over it. One thing I want to get on hockey. Penguins possibly trading out Sidney Crosby.
What?
See that today?
Yeah, you didn't see that? That's been
No.
going on for months, months.
Oh, I thought they'd get rid of Malkin before they got rid of Crosby.
I want.
That's
here.
interesting.
Get him here.
No,
Get him here.
no,
That
Get
I
him
mean
here.
no,
that.
Put him on that third line.
no,
No, he'd play on the second.
no.
Nah, third.
I do not want Sidney Crosby's
They
crybaby B-I-T you know what you know what on this team.
He's a gamer though, man.
He's how you get another
Okay.
Stanley Cup.
No,
a
he's
gamer.
not. No, he's not.
He's the guy that is going to pull the team up when you got Marshy, Bergie, and Pasta who get in that rut in the postseason when they can't perform and you need lines 2 and 3 to step up. He's the guy to do it. Krejci's the guy to do
I
it.
hate to tell you this.
He's still
Boom.
a top 5 player.
I hate to tell you this. The Bruins are not going to win anything in the playoffs unless they get some defensive help.
Actually,
looking ugly.
their
Defensively,
defense
they're
is
doing pretty
actually
well.
a strength right now.
I don't think so.
Their defense is
Looks
a
horrible.
strength right now.
And
Well, it's
they need to get rid
horrible.
of
They haven't
Tuukka.
allowed more than 2 goals in
Need to get rid of
almost
Tuukka.
any other games.
Tuukka's been
Not a
solid
fan.
too.
Not a fan.
Tuukka's
Team
been
looks
solid
great this
too.
year.
He's
The
top
team
5
looks
in
great
every
this year.
category still. Tuukka's still solid. That defense is stepping
Team
up.
looks great. The Bruins struggle at best to draft. Give them some picks. Maybe you give them DeBrusque or someone similar.
Now the injury to Grzelcyk and Lausanne is a problem, but with the way they've been performing, especially for the most part defensively, other than the Islanders game the other night, has been really, really good. Especially, when you allow 2 goals to the Flyers in 3 games, that's a big deal.
That's what I said. They barely let up more than 2 goals in every game. They've been playing lights out. I'm happy with it. On that note, it's way that time.
That's okay.
Way that time.
We started a little late, and we've been out for 2 weeks. So
Let's ride this thing till the wheels fall off. Let's go to 10, baby.
You have fun with that.
yeah.
Ryan, you down to go to 11? We're gonna rage, baby.
Why not? I'm off.
We're gonna
tomorrow.
rage.
I'm off tomorrow.
We're raging.
You know what? Let's turn on the podcast. Let's start Let the Boys Talk tonight.
Ooh, let the boys
need to get that going.
talk. The raging Cajun.
We need to get that going. On that note,
And on that note, it's all about who you know and who you.
Everyone, give Let the Boys Talk on Facebook a follow.
Oh yeah, true. If
A
you
like.
guys want to,
We're getting the podcast started.
for all those of age to listen to adult mature content. If you really want to laugh,
Not
to
just
the point,
sports.
No,
Not
no,
even.
no.
I mean, we'll
We're-
hit sports every
We're
now
talking
and then. but
everything.
It's everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Nothing's off limits. Give us a like, and we're gonna be dropping some new content soon. We are working on finalizing the plans, getting everything in the works, and then we're gonna be up and running. I'm excited.
Can you hear me in your headset right now?
Huh? I can't hear you.
You couldn't hear that over your headset?
No. Now I
hear that?
can. Now I can.
I can hear it over
No,
the
right
headset.
now, but
Now I can. Now I can't. Yep.
I'm just testing out buttons. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Nice.
thank you very much for tuning in. It's great to have you back.
Yeah, buddy.
Great to be back. MVP Sports Talk Radio. Ryan, Tim, and Nick Drew on the phone for a good hour and a half tonight. Thanks as always.
Tons of fun. Out. Yeah.
Later.